I know we're a little bit low right now, so once we get set, we are going to zoom up a little bit. The technology and things that, yeah, here we go. Hey, good morning, you guys. So let's say I wanted to report a pothole in the middle of Minnesota Avenue, for example. All you would do is open up the app, hit camera, snap your photo of the pothole. Ready, as fast as you can go. Ready, go. Oh! All right, I think you beat me. Well, let's slow it down here. But what's your favorite thing about the Fit Desk? And especially don't get in the way of people who are trying to do their job. I'm actually going to step out of frame here and zoom in just so you can see how extensive this damage really, truly is. We're zooming in here on Advanced Auto Parts. That roof and that entire left side of the building is gone. The $6 million facility already had 14 rooms that were rented out to residents. And now they're wondering, what's their next move? Just a reminder, everybody, you know, if you're heading out this morning, you do need gloves, you do need a hat, because I'm not wearing either of them, and I am in a world of hurt.
Look at him. There he goes. He's just such a little kid. I love it.
Cannonball. Cannonball.
Is he have his pants on? He still has his pants on.
It's an absolute beautiful, serene place, but then there are times when it can get violent, and this is one of them.
Scenic, quiet, peaceful. 3 words commonly used to describe Del Rapids until this past weekend. The flooded Big Sioux River has forced many residents out of their homes. Jeff Cooper and his wife are just 2 of them.
She got up at about 12:30 and she looked out the window, and right over here, the water was on the other side of the garage, and then all of a sudden it was around the garage.
And while they couldn't believe what was happening,
we didn't realize that it was going to come so quick upon us. And I don't think anyone ever does, really, you know, with floods. You can talk about it and talk about it, but in the end, it's still just amazing when it hits.
they knew that time was of the essence.
Anything that was, you know, on floor level had to come up, get it off the ground, everything. So, yeah, it was intense.
Jeff checks on his house daily. The water is still rising in the river and isn't expected to recede for over a week. He and his wife don't know what they'll be able to keep or what they'll lose. But the lifelong Del Rapids resident refuses to lose two things: his smile and his sense of humor.
Enjoy my lakefront property.
His attitude remains more positive than most.
You know, your faith. It's always your faith.
Due to the place and the people he's always called home.
My phone blew up with what can we do for you? How can we help? What do we need to do? And that's Del Rapids. I think that's South Dakota. That was freaky.
You'll see the packed stands. You'll hear the crowd. You'll even see athletes in one of the biggest competitions for their sport in the nation. What you might not see, though, is the quiet moments.
These kids are up right now, earlier in the morning, getting ready, getting their horses ready, getting horses fed. It's really teaching them, not only is it cool for them to be able to come and compete here, but it's really teaching them a lot of life lessons.
Those quiet moments where no one is watching, but hard work is still done, is what got these kids to this stage and gave them the opportunity to say they're the best at what they do.
They work for it all year and try hard, and this is their big deal to go for that gold buckle.
And while these athletes have spent their entire lives separating themselves from their competition,
ribbon roping, goat tying, team roping, and calf roping.
I'm looking forward to barrels. I love barrel racing. It's my favorite event.
Breakaway roping, team roping, ribbon roping, goat tying, barrel racing, pole bending.
one of the most special moments is when they come together.
Honestly, my favorite part is meeting new people. Meeting new people is so fun to me. You get to see where they're from, who they are, what type of people they are, and just meet nice people, and that's all you can ask for.
In Huron, Simon Floss, KDLT News. Sedaris faced up to 10 years in prison. Judge Robin Howman sentenced the former fire chief to 6, but all were suspended, meaning the only way Sedaris will see the inside of a prison cell is if he violates his probation. Now, in the next 6 years, Sedaris cannot be charged with any Class 1 misdemeanors, has to undergo supervised probation, spend 80 days likely on electronic monitoring, and register as a sex offender. Some call the sentence light, but with so many different factors playing a role, prosecutors say justice was served.
Complete lack of criminal history, a long term of public service. You know, the defendants proactively getting into a treatment program. The psychosexual evaluation showed no concerns for the future.
According to the psychosexual evaluation, Sedaris' behavior stemmed from an incident when he was young, and instead of seeking professional help, Sedaris went to the internet. Psychiatrists, doctors, and counselors who Jim met with say they don't think he's a danger to the public. Judge Howman says had Sedaris dealt with these issues differently, she believes that he wouldn't be in the position that he's in today. She, and the state, also hope that people can see what happened with Sedaris and get the help that they need.
Perhaps those at home that are watching this in the media will think twice about keeping different issues hidden and hoping to work through it on their own.
Sedaris took full responsibility in court and hopes one day that the public will trust him again. In Sioux Falls, Simon Floss, KDLT News.
And our big goal is to build relationships with the neighborhood and the volunteers and become friends.
Dakotabilities was started in 2016 to help those with disabilities in the Sioux Empire find community and live a meaningful life. They offer classes and activities for those that they serve, but one activity has sprouted in popularity, a community garden. The garden isn't just for those at Dakotabilities, though. It's for the community as a whole.
You know, that was the goal and purpose of getting the gardens in here and building relationships with our neighbors.
I like Shirley because she laughs at my jokes.
The Kafkas have been coming to the garden since the beginning 3 years ago. But they're just one of the volunteers that stop by for a few laughs and to teach friends a thing or two in the process.
They help us plant the plants, come in and weed with us, teach us to weed the garden, watch the harvest grow.
Each garden has a different theme. Right now there's lettuce, salsa, corn, squash, and green beans, as well as a movie garden filled with corn and sunflower seeds. While the entire process is loved by those at Dakotabilities, what happens at the end is even more special.
They just love taking our harvest in and showing that off to everybody, and then people will take the harvest home at the end of the season, and they just love being involved in the community garden.
In Sioux Falls, Simon Floss, KDLT News.